Okay,
We're gonna do it
I
here.
got an idea.
There you got it. All right, we got it. Putting on our boogie shoes. Welcome to it.
You know, every time we play this, we got to pay a royalty.
Yeah, it probably actually gets flagged and doesn't even get seen by anyone. The video gets cut. It's just us going. Nah, it's fine. I'm sure Casey and the Sunshine Band appreciate it. All right.
Yeah,
Casey from Casey and the Sunshine Band. He's like, yeah, get my music out there. Put on your boogie shoes.
Yeah, because you can't even, afford to pay attention.
Yeah, so
let alone pay a royalty.
Come on,
those
now.
guys.
Unbelievable. All right. Hey, it's Brock and Dwight. Welcome to it. Before we got started, we went on a whole thing about the brave female astronauts that went into space recently that did something so amazing, so noteworthy in the annals of history.
Well, you got that.
That
right.
we should, the annals of history, that we should really be thankful that these women did that. That these rich women, rich billionaire women took it upon themselves. God, too bad it wasn't like Challenger 85 or 84.
Yeah, the real tragedy is they came back.
Yeah, the real tragedy. I mean, do you want to talk about that, or do you have something else that we should talk about?
I'd rather talk about my genital herpes.
Hey,
those broads coming back. The FAA even said that, like, okay, you're not astronauts. They're like, I'm an astronaut. You're not an astronaut.
Yeah.
You know what that's called? That's called Mount Stupid. Like when you do something for the very first time, but you're not an expert at it, and you like your confidence is super high. Yeah. It's called Mount Stupid, and all of those broads are at the peak,
the tippy top right there.
Oh my God.
No, that's like when the stripper is wearing a naughty nurse uniform, and she says, "I'm a nurse."
Dude,
same thing.
Totally. I microwaved leftovers. I am a 5-star chef.
Wolfgang Puck over here. So let's not waste our oxygen.
Yeah, let's jump in.
On that, like they did. Well, actually, they didn't waste oxygen. They just put a bunch of carbon into the atmosphere. Thank God they went up there, though.
To save the Earth, we have to destroy it. I don't know if you
don't you know science? You wouldn't get it.
Dude, this is where we're at, too. This is like, oh my God, send the fucking asteroid. Dude, just send it right now.
It wouldn't be terrible. They did say that one. Well, of course, now they crunched the numbers. You hear about that one they were worried. It had like a 1%, 2% chance. Now they're saying it could hit the moon. Still very low chances.
The moon.
If it hits the moon, I don't think people realize we're fucked.
Okay, you're talking about the moon. Okay, so why are we fucked? Why would we be fucked if something like impacted the moon that would catastrophically devastate that moon?
Because that would affect the gravitational pull of our tides.
Yeah,
because the tides go by the gravitational as we rotate.
Yeah,
the moon pulls right.
Here's the crazy stuff about the moon, right?
Yeah.
So
it's made of cheese. First of all, we all know that
it's hollow. Okay, so they crashed Apollo 12. I think the lander, they crashed into it or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Apollo 12, something crashed into the moon and it rang like a bell for an hour. And then they were very curious about this because they're like, this can't be.
That's weird.
They have a seismograph. There is a seismograph on the moon. They crashed the third stage of Apollo 13 into it.
Yeah, the one Tom Hanks was on.
And that's right. And Tom Hanks with an X, pedophile. And We'll circle back to that in another episode.
Talk about it. It's still wild to me that Dwight is hanging his head on that one. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's talk about the hollow moon,
dude. And then so they crashed it. There's something that you can go back and you can read all this. The moon like almost adjusted for the impact. So when they crashed Apollo 13 third stage into it, it rang like a bell for 3 hours.
So when you say did it like absorb it and then kind of kick it back out, or
like it was compensating for it, like it knew it was coming.
So okay, now a hollow, and I've never heard anything about this, so I'm going to ask.
Here we go.
Now, hollow or cavernous?
So what they think might they kind of guessed about it being like honeycomb. So there's 12 miles of a layer.
Yeah.
There's 12 miles they think is a layer of the surface. And then below that is actually hollow in between the core and that 12 miles.
Yeah.
They say is hollow or honeycombed, structured. You want to know what I think?
That is
you
where
really want to know what's going on.
Underground is actually where beings live inside the moon.
Yeah.
It's underneath, much like a beehive, and that's where they stay
Yeah, that's what happens when they remote viewed the moon. They found structures, they found people, and these people are the tall whites. They're people.
Now,
they're actual people. They're not aliens.
Is
They're
it like
people.
a jump off point? Is it
Sounds
where they
crazy.
actually live, or is this like a, hey, we got to stretch our legs, pick up some beef jerky and potato chips, get some soda, some ladies, sunflower seeds, zigzags.
Some space ladies.
You busted it, didn't you? Look me in the eye, punk. Fantastic.
Give the beer back, man.
I pay for the fucking beer, man.
You try to busted out the space capsule window, trying to throw a beer bottle at a sign. Ooh.
That's a felony offense. You boys are coming with me. Anyway, so it's they actually live there though. It's not just like a refueling point. What?
This sounds absolutely crazy, but yeah, dude, it's like you talk about civilizations. Let's go back to like what Plato talked about. Plato talked about Atlantis. Plato talked about a time before the moon. All of these civilizations, these ancient civilizations, talk about a time before the moon. What they think happened was these tall whites, these Nordics, had colonized Mars when Mars was like Earth-like.
Yeah.
And something happened on Mars where they had to abandon ship. They knew
microplastics.
That's their testosterone. Their taints were shrinking.
It's unbelievable.
And they wanted to colonize Earth. Then they wanted to move to Earth, but Earth was too volatile. And we're talking like people remote viewed. I believe it was Joe McMoneagle, the CIA remote viewing. He remote viewed 1 million BC, and it was Mars. And he talked about the civilization that was there. He also remote viewed the moon, talked about these tall whites, the civilization that lived on the dark side still to this day. And so what they did was to terraform Earth because Earth was too volatile.
Yeah.
They brought in the moon as a satellite. And that's I know it sounds nuts, but it actually stopped the Earth from having 8-hour days. Gave us our 24-hour days, gave us our 23-degree axis tilt, gave us a more stable planet to live on.
Yeah.
And the Earth, dude, the moon is crazy. Here's the most crazy thing about the moon.
Yeah.
The moon is 1/400th the size of the sun.
Yeah.
It is also 1/400th the distance to the sun. It is a perfect eclipse.
Like perfect eclipse.
And there's nothing else that we know of that's like that.
So
it was almost like it was perfectly put there.
You don't think it's just a chunk of the Earth, which is what a lot of scientists, anybody in the field thinks. They think it's a giant chunk that was broken off by a meteor strike, something like that, and then ended up there in our atmosphere. Yeah. And honestly,
it's too spherical.
Okay,
it's too spherical.
This is why I hate talking to you, because stuff I've never
makes you think a little differently.
I
right?
was staring at the moon.
Now you're gonna be like,
but you look up at this thing, and you're right. It's this, and it's obviously it's not a perfect circle, because once you get on there, there's craters and everything. But
the craters are different too. The craters are wild.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's not mountain range or whatever it may be.
No mountains.
But still, for it being as spherical as it is, the perfect distance, what it does for our atmosphere, or that's not the right word.
It's our terraforming of this planet. Like we're able to live here. Yeah,
it's perfect.
It's absolutely perfect. I don't know, man. Like this is just stuff that like you pick up over time, and you start to realize, like, let's just think about this. Like it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
It sounds nuts.
Yeah.
I sound like a madman.
Nah.
But dude, it's starting to like make more and more sense that like these things that we're seeing in the sky, these aliens aren't aliens, they're us.
Yeah.
And they could be future us, or they could be just an advanced us.
Yeah.
And those little gray things that you see are their robots. They're like their little maids, they're little bitches.
It's their little Roombas.
There you go, man.
Yeah,
they're just biological androids. Dude.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
They love sticking things in people's asses,
and it's just that simple.
Use the big probe, Mr.
Three,
Little Gray. Three of them. Did I say two? Better make it three.
Three probes.
Yeah, and especially when I know in the law of averages, like, okay, yeah, you can play the numbers game and the billions of years or millions of years, but some things though too are like, Jesus, it's almost too perfect.
It's too perfect and that's what we're kind of going to get into. Like, dude, what actually is reality?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you start like digging into like how perfect everything is,
Mhm.
and what science is trying to do. They're trying. Here's the problem with science and religion. They're trying to prove the same thing without understanding each other.
Yeah. Or looking into each other, right? Or
Yeah.
like letting the other one be like, all right, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Once you start to like dig into this, you start to realize that no amount of physics can describe to you what consciousness is.
Mhm.
Consciousness, out of consciousness came physics.
Mhm.
This universe is made for consciousness. It's information.
Mhm.
That's what we live in. Like in what we see, like our world, what it is, it's an artificial reality. And when I say artificial, it's not a matrix. It's it's a matrix, dude.
Yeah.
It's a hologram. It's a hologram. And what consciousness is the laser beam that hits the hologram and makes it pop out.
So I guess that's the Matrix thing, and if you look at it from what we know, the Matrix is Neo in a tub of goo with a thing plugged into his head.
Mhm.
Morpheus,
Whoa.
Morpheus. I think that's immediately what we go to. I mean, are you looking on that lines of it? I know we started with the moon, and now we're talking about being in a tub of goo.
It's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's all interrelated. And this is what they're like trying to keep you from, and like what you're probably going to end up, what all of this disclosure is to like bring about, hey, here's these aliens. They're not aliens. They're going to call them gods. And that's what the Greeks said. The Greeks said they were gods and titans.
Mm-hmm.
There was an Atlantis. Something happened to that civilization. I don't know what, if it ended up being Antarctica, if there was like a slip of the crust. They talk about that, where like Antarctica fell to the bottom. Yep. And like Siberia came over into the top. That's why you see like flash frozen stuff in the guts of like mammoths and stuff like that, where it just happens super quickly.
Yeah.
Thousands of miles of crust shift, and Atlantis got buried. That's why the Nazis were obsessed with Antarctica. Like, this is all starting to make sense, dude. They're going to try to bring about this through this disclosure thing.
So we got to the Nazis again. I know that'll be in a previous one that I'll upload.
Which your breakaway government with all of your intel agencies are today, and not more importantly, like everybody's looking at the CIA, FBI, all that stuff. It's not that. It's not so much that.
Not MI6. Those Brits don't know what they're doing. Those idiots.
It's the aerospace companies. It's the tech companies.
Yeah.
It's Lockheed Martin. It's Skunkworks, dude.
Yeah.
They own this stuff. They are the breakaway government. They are the Nazis today. Like that didn't die with the people that died. These Nazis that are now dead. They still are in control, and they're trying to roll out this disclosure thing so they can bring about. And what it is they're going to bring about these, and you're going to see them, dude. It's humans that they're tall whites. Yeah, it's going to be, and they're going to try to control us with it and say like, these are our gods, and these people they're so far advanced.
Do the tall whites do the tall whites see it that way, or are they just
the tall whites are basically CRISPR humans? Like they're, CRISPR is right. They're genetically engineered to be superior.
So are they going to take us over? Are they along the ride saying, why even work with these, even though you got these aerospace, these other people that are like, hey,
they're already working with them.
They're working with them. Okay. Why not just wipe them out and say, we're your gods?
Because they need us. It's dude, consciousness is the key. They're trying to reach this, like, again, there's like this antithesis. And let's go back to like
the moon.
We could go back. Yeah. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Yeah. Like, what is this all about? This is all related, right? And what I'm saying is like the 0 point energy, consciousness, it's all related to the same stuff, and trying to figure out like, dude, you're like, you and me are super important. And it's because it's our consciousness. And we're being controlled. We're being told that we're not good. We're sinners. Like that's what religion tells you. Religion does this. Religion beats you down, tells you that you're like a sinner, that you can't do this without religion, that you need to worship. When in reality, in my opinion, Jesus didn't say to worship me. He just led by an example and showed people how to like break free of control of society. What they're trying to do is like, dude, they're trying to squelch your ability to be like psychic, think for yourself. And when I say think for yourself, when you think, You create your own reality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're all going to find out is like this everything's a vibration, everything's moving. And then how you like create the future. And then we get into like time, how you create the future is actually through this vibrational consciousness, and you create what you want.
Yeah.
Through your vibration.
I don't think we'll ever get to that, though. If I'll be honest with you, if you look at society now, especially with I always say the invention of the smartphone was the downfall of man. It's anybody. No one cares anymore. They don't need to, because honestly, everything's right there.
It's a design.
I could see that. I could see, because that's the age of innocence, and any kind of possible, or at least it will trip us up for a very long time. Right. It will, because I mean, everyone's sucked in those now. It's affected all aspects of life.
Yes.
It's crazy. And so maybe we'll have this kind of, underground resurgence that will fight that kind of technology to get to what you're saying, or we're just gonna, Wall-E world it, or idiocracy it, and it's just, we're just gonna lean into the technology because we like it, and we're just like, oh, whatever, I don't need anything else, I'm fine. And that's where we're at, and will be easy to control. It won't be anything. So
this is a design, and this is a design that a lot of people think are by these like Nordics.
Fucking Steve Jobs.
The Nordics are behind this.
Really?
Yes, everything. They're behind everything.
So they're not good guys. That's what you guys should know.
No, and in the lore of what these things are, there was like a breakaway civilization from them that like tried to save humanity. That's what the Prometheus myth was about in Greek culture. Like the Zeus didn't create the humans, Prometheus did, and Prometheus like was like pre Lucifer, right, pre-Bible. And what it did was he was the fire bringer. He brought them technology. He brought about human beings. His brother didn't give them purpose, but that's where like Athena came in and helped them like give them purpose. This all interconnects so well. But yeah, there was a breakaway civilization from these other gods, and they were like, that's where you get like gods and titans, and how they were like fighting each other.
Yeah.
There are people, and they are people, just like you and me. They have faults like you and me. There are people that were like a breakaway civilization from them, and that's maybe some of the conflict that we're seeing, that is trying to save humanity.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's not looking good right now. If I'd say, it's
not. But when they roll this stuff out to you, when they show you like, well, here they are, and there are benevolent gods, and then they're here to take control, and they will tell you what to do. Dude, look at COVID was a test run by these things. Like I 100% believe that. Like you think about how evil COVID was. They controlled the media, and the media was wrong on every single thing. They didn't get one thing right. They were wrong like it was their fucking job.
Yeah.
Explain that to me. Yeah. Just explain it to me.
I mean, explain it away. It's one of those, yeah. And I think it's the only thing. If I were to say play devil's advocate on this,
sure,
and give you because of never having to handle such in the modern era, something like that. And of course, I think it showed maybe more of the faults of how we have way too many idiots in charge on the big picture of things.
By design.
I think by design, or it's just the fault of humans just getting suckered in, or money, whatever. It either shined a light on the fact that there's a lot of idiots in power, which could be by design, or just nepotism and rich people letting their rich offspring then get into places of power, and that continues just the rich idiots doing rich idiot things.
It's all part of it.
And we didn't know how to handle it, or right, like you're saying, it's a test run to see, okay, what can we do here? Let's they're testing their hypotheses in different scenarios. And one of those is a global pandemic, and see what happens there. See what people do, see how people react, who they can control. I don't know. I don't know.
Who's the problem? Who's going to be a problem when we roll some big stuff out? And I told you, like, something's coming. And what's coming, what I believe is coming, is this thing that they can't hide anymore. That's why they're trying to slow roll this stuff out to us. And eventually, at the very end, what it's going to be is, here are your gods.
Yeah.
And they'll have all this technology and all this crazy stuff. And they'll come out of the oceans. Like, they're living in the oceans right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they're all coming from.
That's why seafood's so expensive because they're eating all of it. Right.
You know,
They're
like,
eating all the lobsters.
you know what's crazy is like there's a whistleblower that talked about like the biology of the grays.
Yeah.
And what they fed them. Like it was like a soup. Dude, this guy, this molecular biologist or whatever the fuck it was, like went on this huge, super deep detail about these non-human biological entities that they have from these crashes. Wild. And it all lines up with the lore of what is.
They're not eating like
UFOs.
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or anything like that.
No, it was like a broth.
A broth?
That they fed them. Yeah.
A protein broth or something like that.
And they couldn't last long, like without their technology, without their like technic masters, which are these like Nordics to like, because they built them.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, they even talk about like a city size AI factory, UFO factory in the Bermuda Triangle.
We touched on this where they're just 3D printing these things.
We talked about it personally.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it on air. Where they print these things out, and they say, okay, I got to go do such and such a job. Like this is the craft that I'm gonna, and then boop takes off, and then it comes back and gets smelted back down. And they supply the entities to go in it.
Which is why we also too possibly see different shapes, different. They're kind of. It's not like the same thing. It's this one. You know, I tell you what, we're gonna throw a triangle one at them this time. Yeah. This one's shaped like a penis.
Yes,
hey, we're gonna do
like
that.
A cigar, dude.
Oh, that was Jeff. That was Jeff Bezos. Sorry, Jeff Bezos had the penis, right?
Yeah, and the chicks went in.
And the chicks went in. They were the top.
Penis.
They were at the tip of the penis. Yeah, fantastic.
Shut up.
I like the tip work.
You want to hear one fucking crazy thing? Like that we have reverse engineered some of this stuff. I was kind of wrong about some of this stuff. We have gotten it, but it's not we. It's Lockheed Martin, dude. They are the tippity top of the spear. They're the point of the spear of this whole thing. Do you know that there was a whistleblower? He came out and he said that the JSOC, you know what JSOC is? I actually know a guy in JSOC. It was in JSOC. That's how I met my wife.
Yeah.
From a JSOC guy.
Yeah.
Joint Special Forces operators. Okay. Came out and said that they were tracking these. They track these things all the time.
Yeah. Well, you look at the overall like UFO unidentified flying object reports, dude. There's thousands
all the time,
and they're like, "Yep, got another one." Didn't know what the fuck it was.
Well, one crashed in Nevada in 2004. This story gets fucking wild, dude. This is with this whistleblower. In 2004, one crashed in Nevada. Both JSOC and Lockheed Martin descended on this thing at the same time.
Tried to get who's going to get it first?
Because it wasn't alien. It was Lockheed's. And so Lockheed has their own, obviously, security, which are probably ex-special forces guys, like JSOC guys.
Yeah.
Like SEALs and Green Berets, all sorts of stuff that they hire. Guns for hire, soldiers of fortune. They descended on it. They met at the same point in time and got in a firefight. And 2 JSOC guys were killed. They were 2 Asian guys, like of Asian descent, is what this whistleblower said. And somebody else was asked about it. I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Lockheed Martin guy or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was asked about it, and he's like, "Man, it got ugly," and he knew about it.
Wow.
Yeah. In 2004, they were fighting over this stuff because it crashed.
Yeah.
And it was Lockheed Martin's. Like they have this stuff. Here's another thing, dude. Tell me, in 2014, tell me what happened to MH370.
Oh,
are you drunk? Are you drunk enough yet? You might want to get. You might want to get.
You want to get a little bit more?
Yeah.
That's the Taiwanese flight or the Malaysian flight. Yeah. Fuck, that's one.
Tell me what happened to that.
No one knows.
Have you seen?
It was just Kaiser Sosade, Sizer Kosade. I am drunk enough.
Yeah.
No, Kaiser Sosade, gone.
Zero explanation. Suicidal pilot. That story fell apart.
Yeah.
Gone.
You can find a fucking plane, you know?
Okay, so Lockheed Martin has the technology that they're scanning the Earth, every single point of the Earth at all times. All you have to do is you can do it now, you can do it later. Go in, search satellite video orbs MH370.
Yeah.
And it's a satellite video, and in a heat video of these orbs like around this aircraft, a Boeing 777.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going around this thing and it disappears.
Just gone.
Yeah. And what they think is like that's a teleport technology that they have reverse engineered. There was 20 employees of what was it? There was 20 employees from a company that worked on like microprocessors or something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, nobody sent, and their families.
Yeah.
They were part of the 200 and some people.
It was a ton of fucking people on that thing.
Yeah. And supposedly they were like defectors. They were going to China and they got caught defecting, and they were like, not so fast. And they sent this technology to go get the plane. And then people talked about like lithium batteries exploding on the plane, and just like, the pagers for Israel and Hezbollah. Like you talked about that.
Yeah.
It was that was us. Like, not us, but probably
the technology that we took was already, so we
military
got someone in there.
Yeah. Trying to get that stuff. Yeah. Look that up, dude. It is an extremely hard video. It has not been debunked.
Yeah.
And somebody like filmed it on a screen because they stole like the footage of it.
Yeah. Here you go.
Dude, is wild.
Huh?
It's wild. So
anyway,
women in space.
That's where this all started, by the way. A bunch of rich women in space being astronauts. We all know women can't be astronauts. That's ridiculous.
Astro.
Yeah. And Astro. Yeah. Look at, he's an astronaut playing guitar.
Dude, you're gonna tell me that like you're an astronaut, and then you got like guys like John Glenn.
Yeah. Buzz Aldrin, all those guys. Yeah.
They're just like standing there like,
who was it? What was it? Buzz that punched that guy in the face? Fantastic.
Yes.
Punched that guy right in the face. Yeah. Like 80-something-year-old Buzz Aldrin. Wham!
Said space was fake.
Yeah.
Not space.
The moon landing
they never
was
went
fake.
to the moon. Yeah.
And Buzz punched him right in the face.
I could totally understand. Like I'm on the side right now. I've always fell back and forth, but I'm on the side that we did go. It's just what we found there.
Right. And right. And now it's almost easier to just argue with people and maybe put it out there. Maybe even they released this stuff, this propaganda that it was fake, to just keep people going,
Have you heard like some of the testimony from these guys? Some of the like the radio transmissions that were picked up by the Russians and things like that, them talking about like the buildings that they're looking at. That's go look that up too.
It's
well, and again, just go do your research.
The dark side of the moon. We don't. Yeah, Tom Cruise.
And that's where it is. It's on the dark side.
The dark side. Yeah. Fucking Transformers, man. It's where they're at.
This is where Hollywood gets everything.
Yeah.
And dude, Michael Bay he knows shit, and he just drops this like goofy stuff in his movies.
Yeah.
They all do.
Well, you look at it. I've said we got to start looking more at 80s and 90s action movies. To fucking Terminator. What was another one we just did? And I'm like, we've seen that before. God, what we were just talking about.
If you want to talk about like action movies too, like 2007.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about how movies have like degraded over time.
Yeah.
After the iPhone, there wasn't a lot of great.
No.
I think 2007, you talked about Transformers. That was the pinnacle of CGI. Dude, Transformers.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Fucking retarded.
Well, because you can't
CGI.
You look at like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The very first one. It's amazing. It still holds up. You can watch that movie today and go, holy shit, that's a real dinosaur.
100%.
Transformers did a really good job too. Because I'm sorry, like Avatar, I don't fucking get it. I don't really. I
hated them.
It's almost too much. It's too much. And I don't know how Transformers did it, but you're right. That first one, it blows your mind.
The second one, like just the like intricate little details of like when they had that huge Devastator thing, they said it like crashed how many servers?
Yeah,
because it was so big. There was so much shit on there, Like,
yep. But you're right though. Nowadays you watch, you're like, that looks like garbage.
It looks crap. Like we're going backwards.
Yeah. Again, because we're just it's just everyone's lazy and we're just settling for mediocrity.
Yeah, dude.
That's what it is. We're sending women into space on penis rockets.
I tell you what, I get in trouble for this, but I don't think the Nazis would have sent women to. That's how bad it's gotten, though. This is how bad it's gotten. Like, we're going insane, dude.
The label of this is, I don't think Nazis ever sent women into space.
I mean, they were bad, but they never sent broads into space.
Yeah, right? They know better than that.
They
kept them in the kitchen where they belong. Well, this was a
My
wild.
wife makes a hell of a sandwich.
She's a hell of a sandwich. No?
Dude, she's a good cook.
And would you let her fly a spaceship?
Hell no.
No,
Dude, she
absolutely.
can't handle the Honda Civic,
There
bro.
you go. Yeah, no. Women in
She's
space.
a pretty good driver.
Yeah,
too,
not
but-
pretty good is not.
well, she wrecked a Sunfire in high school.
I joked with my wife. I said, "Well, how did they go into space without a man telling them where they needed to go? Without a man driving? They had to stop 3 times to take a pee, and it was an 11-minute flight. They got lost immediately. Ridiculous. That's hilarious. It's fantastic.
I got so many loaded right now. I just can't go there.
Yeah. Well, you trying to get lucky tonight? Say it. So long story short, the moon. Look, there's a lot more to it than I think we know.
A lot more to that and Mars, and we're probably here's you ask about predictions. I'm gonna fucking Nostradamus.
Let's end. Okay, we'll end with a Dwight prediction.
Okay, you're gonna see. You asked before. What are you gonna see next?
Yep.
For them to roll out this bullshit that they're gonna roll out, this disclosure stuff, you're probably going to start to see stuff from the moon and Mars.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but you're probably going to start to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Case of the Sunshine Band, send us out.
Play me out.
We'll see you next time. More conspiracies. More beer for me.
Ladies in space.
And ladies in space. Hope that doesn't happen again. That was just ridiculous.
Come look like this. Zero gravity.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Big old firm pert breasts.
Just get the old bras and they just
Right there. Fantastic. She's 2 at 10 and a 10 in space. There you go. We'll see you guys next time.